All right, so fun conversation I had with a patient this weekend about her husband. So, uh, story of her husband going to the doctor. She had me give him some labs so they could pull him so they could get that going. And so the guy goes to the doctor, gets his labs pulled. Uh, the guy goes in and tells his doctor that his throat's been sore lately in the morning and he's tired in the afternoon. So they pulled his testosterone. They did not pull his fasting insulin. So let me run you through this real quick. So the guy tells him his throat hurts in the morning and he's tired in the middle of the day, later afternoon. The doctor tells him to drink more water and get to bed earlier. Those are obvious signs of sleep apnea. 100% obvious. Can't. It's super obvious. Didn't even talk to him about it. The guy's blood sugar is 110. His fasting blood sugar is 110. And the doctor told him not to worry about it. If it gets any higher, they'll just put him on metformin. He'll be fine. His testosterone is 280. 208. Man, 280. And the doctor tells him that it's still within the range, so he shouldn't worry about it, and that it's normal for guys his age. The guy's put on about 20 pounds in the past, roughly 2 years. And the doctor told him if you just cut back a little bit, like you told, take 100 calories a day off, and that'll get him where he needs to go. Remember, he didn't pull his fasting insulin, so he doesn't know what his insulin resistance function is, specifically with that blood sugar of 110. Now, his cholesterol was 10 points high, and so he said it's really important that he got on a statin drug, though. So, wildly missed the testosterone, wildly missed the sleep apnea, didn't even care about insulin resistance or functional diabetic function going on with blood sugars, missed multiple metabolic functions, pulled his TSH, and because his TSH was okay, he told him his thyroid was fine, which is, the two aren't really related that much to begin with. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. It tells your thyroid to do something. Whether your thyroid's doing it or not, we have no idea unless you pull free T3 and free T4. So didn't pull the right labs, even though we gave him a list of the labs to pull, he didn't pull them. And told the guy he was fine, just go home and, do his thing. So this is why we're sick. This is the exact reason why we're sick. This is why everybody's miserable. This is why everybody's torn up, because they're missing all of the things. No hormonal function was, he pulled his testosterone. He should have known to increase it, didn't. So I don't know. Like this is where we're at. This guy has multiple issues that are really, really serious. So the sleep apnea, the high fasting sugars, and I'm assuming the high fasting insulin is leading directly to arterial plaque, which he's going to be like, oh, see, your cholesterol was high, and I told you on the statin and you didn't. That's why you had arterial plaque. No, it's because the guy missed every other functional piece in there. And his testosterone was low. Testosterone also helps reduce arterial plaquing as well. So, and the guy's eating trash. Didn't even go into his diet of what he's eating. He just said cut back 100 calories. I think we all know how I feel about the calories thing, but so that's where we're at. So if in the new year you're like, I'd like to get healthy, you might want to go see somebody who's a healthcare professional, someone who actually takes care of health. Like, hey, let's look at your sleep. If you're tired in the middle of the day and your throat's sore when you wake up, you need a sleep study right now to make sure you don't have sleep apnea, which is the number one cause of arterial plaquing and heart attacks. It also damages the brain, so you got dementia, stuff like that. So definitely need to check that. Just because it's within the range doesn't matter. Treat the patient, not the paper. 280 is absurd. Like, he definitely needs to raise his testosterone on those levels. Didn't pull his D3 because, medical doctors don't care about your D3. Speaking of vitamins, he specifically asked his doctor, is there any vitamins or something he should take? And his medical doctor told him not to worry about vitamins because they don't really work that well. Straight up told him nutrition and physiology doesn't matter. So that's fun. Didn't tell him to exercise at all. Didn't even ask about exercise. Missed it, like I said, the fasting insulin, missed all the metabolic function. The guy is deteriorating right in front of him over the past 2 years. Been in his doc for 5-6 years. Doesn't notice it. Doesn't notice it at all. Doesn't even recognize the massive obvious warning signs that the guy has. Because he did tell him to get on metformin for his sugars, which could theoretically help the arterial plaquing from the high sugar function. Not going to treat anything for his high fasting insulin or insulin resistance issues that I'm sure the guy has. But didn't even look. Didn't even care to look. Even though we gave them the list. We gave them the list of labs that I pulled because I gave it to his wife to give to the doc. So this is kind of where we're at. Like, this guy went home and told his wife that he was totally fine, Doctor signed off on it. He's healthy. He doesn't need to worry about anything. He told her, well, maybe in a couple of years, if I get any worse, there's some stuff I got to do. But he was like, but that takes care of it. Okay. That's where we're at. So if everybody's thinking that, well, I went to the doctor, I got my physical, and the doctor said I was fine because he pulled a CBC and a CMP. And here's the problem. When a patient sees a CBC and a CMP, there's like 40 things on that list. And I'm like, wow, they looked at a lot of stuff. No, they didn't. Anyway, this is where we're at. So, even if your medical doctor's told you that you're healthy, you're fine, and you don't need but 2 drugs or 1 drug or whatever, doesn't mean that you're healthy. Find somebody who looks at, goes and talks to you about your sleep. How are you sleeping? What's the quality of your sleep? Have you done any of the stuff? Are you looking at your REM? Are you looking at your deep? Are you looking at the hours slept? Are you looking at your heart rate variability? Are you tracking anything with your sleep? Are you looking at it at all? Okay, so you got to look through your sleep. How much, what are you eating and drinking? What's the glycemic function? Not the calories. What is the chemical effect of what you're consuming? Glycemic function, clean a protein, like how much processing and synthetic stuff's in your diet. These are things that need to be gone through. Like where are your hormones at? In this case, the guy pulled the testosterone, saw that he needed to fix it, and did nothing about it because, as apparently I've been hearing from all the medical docs, and they've been saying on the news, medical doctors get 0 education in hormone function because they were told that hormones cause cancer. And so they were just like, so we just didn't learn anything about them. So yeah, so they have no understanding of hormone function. And those are the big ones: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. My suspicion is that they know nothing about DHT, and I can almost guarantee you they know nothing about insulin rate, glucagon ratio functionality, leptin or ghrelin, because those things are, you only know about those if you actually study metabolic function. So they're out on those, so they don't know anything about metabolic function. Didn't talk to the guy at all about exercise. Didn't talk to him at all about psychological, mental stress and that type of thing. So, which this guy has got tons of because I know the family. So we wonder why we're so sick, and we keep, why our country's healthcare is going to crap, and why it gets worse year after year after year. And then people go to the doctor, and this is what they get. They're like, oh no, that's normal for your age. But none of this other stuff was looked into. And it's not the patient's fault, because the patient goes in and goes, Doc, I don't feel great. Tell me what's wrong. And then I goes, don't worry about it. You're fine. Just go home. It's normal for your age. It's as you get older, these things just happen. Okay. That's what we're getting over here. So that's the big thing. So if you're looking to get healthier, you might need to change the way we're looking at things. Like I always make this, analogy all the time. If a football coach has 2 losing seasons, that guy gets fired, NFL or college. 2 losing seasons, that's it. We've had 40 losing seasons for the medical system, and nobody's even questioning it yet still. So, it's kind of up to you guys how you want to play it, but it might be one of those things you look at and go, you know what? I might not want to see someone like me or something but maybe I should start doing more questioning of the medical system because the track record it has is really bad. So that's just kind of where we're at. If you guys have any other questions or anything, hit us up. But I would highly recommend that you start thinking outside the normal medical box and start thinking, the things that make you healthy, like the way you feel after you get a good night's rest. Is anybody talking to you about your sleep? The way that if you eat a bunch of trash and you don't feel good, is anybody talking to you about what you're eating? Have you looked at what the diet that your body is supposed to have is? Have you ever looked at that? Have you had anybody who actually knows what to do with hormones check your hormones? And by the way, do a little research. 280, 300 for an adult male, not high enough. Like 800 to 1200 is the optimal levels. If you're at 700, you might be fine. But the average person, average guy, 8 to 1200 is where they feel the most optimal. So FYI. Women, usually it's 80 to 250. But get somebody who's looking at those hormones. And, you've got to exercise. You're going to have to move. Anybody who tells you don't have to exercise at all is wrong. We're lying to you. But these are the things. So if you want to be healthy, you're going to have to start looking for somebody who looks at the things that make you healthy. You guys have a fantastic day, and Merry Christmas. Have a fantastic week.